Opportunity knocks the door only once. And for a woman, second career is always a challenge. This saying has been made false by a very successful woman who has changed lives of many successful women for their second career. She has been visionary of India's first career of our women, AVTAR, Indian Women Professionals Interface Network, shortly called as AVTAR IWIN. She had conceptualized and grown AVTAR IWIN effectively over a decade. Through AVTAR, she had coached and counseled several organizations to develop a gender inclusion plan. They are successfully fulfilling the critical goals with second career of women through AVTAR IWIN. Her resilient efforts to increase women's workforce participation has brought many laurels to her. And recently, in the year 2016, she was named as UN's list of 25 women transforming India. We now invite Dr. Saundarya Rajesh, founder, president of AVTAR Group, to deliver the keynote address. Ma'am, please join us on stage.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's fantastic being here today. Such a pleasure being part of the Project Management Institute Chennai Chapter's conference around a theme that is no prizes for guessing, very, very close to my heart. It is something that I'm deeply passionate about, and so I have to begin my address to you first with a confession and then with a challenge. The confession is this. Today, I lead the AVTAR Group, and we have 3 organizations in it. The AVTAR Career Creators, which is into regular talent strategy consulting. Flexi Careers India, which is India's #1 organization for providing second career opportunities to women. And the third is the AVTAR Human Capital Trust. Now, if you ask me what was the origin of this entire group and the work that we do there, it was a failure of work-life balance. That was the confession I wanted to make with you today. Close to 20 years ago, I began my own career with a multinational bank. And I was doing pretty successfully at that. I got campus placed into it. And like all good girls of the 90s, I got married, had a baby, and then discovered that work-life balance does not exist. I had to quit, I had to leave my work, my job, and then over the next 6 years, I struggled to find that utopian career opportunity which would provide me with this, balance that we talk about. So that actually started me off on the journey of looking at how we can make our workplaces sustainable for women who had started joining the workplace in large numbers at that point of time. That was the first confession that I wanted to make to you. The second is a challenge, I said. I have a problem with this term, work-life balance. I don't think it should be even called that. I think we should not call it work-life balance. So if the PMI Chennai Chapter folks had, kind of asked me, we're having this conference on a Sunday and we're going to call it work-life balance, I'd have said don't. Don't have a conference called work-life balance. And you know why? I'm just going to ask you, all of you in this room, to picturize the word balance. When I say the word balance, remove work-life, everything from it. When I just say the word balance, what is the visual that comes to your mind? It's the physical balance, right? It's the balance which has this needle in the middle, and then it has 2 plates on both sides. And then when you say work-life balance, what are you saying? You're talking about putting work on one of those plates and life on another plate, and you are going to spend the rest of your living time on this earth trying to balance that needle in the middle. Is it work or is it life? When work goes up, life goes down. When life goes up, work goes down. That means we are essentially speaking about work and life being in conflict with each other. Is that even sustainable? Can we all make money? Can we all do the things we want to do? Can we all, move to a better life? Can we all utilize our talents to the fullest of its potential? If forever work and life were to fight with each other? So that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I take strong objection to the term work-life balance. I think it doesn't exist. Do you know what exists? Work-life integration. This way, I would request all of you to delete the term work-life balance from your dictionaries and start using the term work-life integration like this. When you integrate work and life like this, when it gets dovetailed and it's not two sides of a coin but it's part of the whole thing, then you begin to define everything accordingly. You begin to realize that work is part of life, life is part of work. You begin to realize that you can do lots of life things at work, you can do a lot of work things at life, in your non-work time. You can do all of it, and that is the beautiful, happy mean that we all are trying to achieve in our lives. What I'm now sharing with you is not just a thought, it is not just something that we have coined because we want to be different from others. No, it is the fact. It's a fact that when you start integrating every aspect of your life, you bring your whole self to the workplace. You bring your whole self to your professional space. So you are proud of everything that you are. You don't need to hide one part of yourself just because you want to be seen as professional and very successful in another part. Just to give you an example, very recently, about 4 or 5 months back, at AVTAR, we launched India's first ever study on the best employers for women in India. Now, this we did in partnership with the Working Mother Group of the US, and for the very first time, organizations were invited to actually fill a questionnaire, a rather long questionnaire, about 350, 400 questions were there in it. And some companies came back and told us that the mere process of filling it itself makes them an expert in gender diversity. To that extent, it's a very, very rigorous questionnaire. So, in partnership with the Working Mother Group, which has been doing this for 30 years now in the US, we launched the Best Companies for Women in India project here in India. Close to about 350 companies applied. And of those companies, we invited about 200 companies to actually fill the application form. And next week, we are going to be sending out information to each of those organizations who have made it to the 100 best list. And in November, the first week of November, we will be announcing to the media and to everybody else who those 100 companies are which have made it to the list, to the 100 best employers for women in India list. Now, the most critical part of this questionnaire, this project is how have organizations dealt with providing work-life integration? How do they help not just women, but men also to pursue this thing called work-life integration? Now, it's a fallacy that only women need work-life integration. I see so many of you men over here in the audience today, obviously because it is important to you and you're pursuing it. That is why you're here on a Sunday. Of course, it also means that you have somebody at home taking care of all the stuff while you are here on a Sunday. The fact also is that for a woman, flexibility is really the oxygen of her career. If you provide a woman with flexibility, you can prevent attrition at least about 15 to 20% of the time. Can you imagine what that means for women's workforce participation? Can you imagine what that means by way of economic productivity for our country? Can you imagine what that means for the GDP of India? It means that if you have more people who pursue their careers sustainably, then it means that you have more productivity, creativity, efficiency actually happening in the workplace. So this thing called flexibility, that is what companies are rated very highly on. How much of this flexibility are you able to provide people in your workplace, both men and women? What kind of innovative and inventive work-life integration policies do you have? Is it about flexible working? Is it about telecommuting? Is it about work from home policies? Is it about really making sure that you are able to provide opportunities for people to manage all these different aspects of their life? Now, the key critical question, this is what I really wanted to share with you this morning, and this is what a lot of the research that we do at the AVTAR Group, with respect to women's workforce participation and work-life integration actually points to. And that question is, yes, organizations have woken up to the point of work-life integration being very, very important to everyone. The millennials want it, E-Gens want it, Gen Ys want it, Gen Xs want it, everybody wants it. So the organizations, workplaces have become very, very cognizant of the fact that work-life integration as a concept is here to stay. But what about us? What about you and me? What about all of us in this room? What are we doing to make sure that we are in the pursuit of this elusive work-life integration? What do we do? As you know, we work in the space of women's workforce participation to a very large extent. We have on the AVTAR IV network close to 2.5 lakh women, of whom at least 40,000 women have taken breaks in career and are looking at coming back into the workplace. Every year we handle thousands upon thousands of mandates from organizations who are seeking to fill positions with women, second career women, everything. One of the things that really, makes us feel quite bad is when we hear the reasons why women took those breaks, why women were not able to see, were not able to find it sustainable to continue their careers. And a lot of it is around work-life integration. Can you believe if I told you that 48% of all women under the age of 30 take a break in career at least once due to work-life integration? So it's not just a problem that organizations can solve. It is a problem that every individual has to solve. And for this, I have 3 points that I thought I would make to you. The first point is this. Do you even know why you're working? Do we know why we get up in the morning, go there, do that, do whatever it is that we want to do? Do we know why we do it? Do we know what's the end goal for that? What is that destination that we are all running towards? If I were to ask you, what is that destination and how can you describe it? Would you be able to describe it to me very clearly in rupee terms, in terms of your dreams and goals, in terms of what it would look like? What is that destination? Does it mean a lot of travel? Today, there is a trend among millennials that they do not buy or they are not interested in purchasing homes or cars. For those of us, who belong to the 90s or even the 2000s, you know that one of the big milestones of success in career is about buying that first home. It's about, buying your own car and, taking your family in that car for the first drive. Today, millennials are saying, we do not need that house. I will rent it. What's the big deal about owning property? What's the big deal about having a car? I'll take an Ola, I'll take an Uber. Instead, they are investing in experiences. They are investing in traveling. They are investing in going out and doing a bunch of things. They are investing in a lot of voluntary work. They are gaining experiences. Now the point is that this whole aspect of wanting to get experiences means that that is the destination you're going for. So do you know what this work that you're pursuing today is going to lead you to? This is my first question. My second question or my second point in this whole journey of work-life integration is, do you have a strong ally network? Whenever we counsel women, whenever we coach and mentor women, especially when they are, they have taken that break and they wish to re-enter the workplace, they wish to become economically relevant again, the question we ask them is, do you have your own board of directors, personal board of directors? Do you have your own ally network? Allies are the big solution to cracking the problem of work-life integration. You need to have people who will help you at every stage in your life. You just cannot do it alone. There are so many women who want to be those super women, and men, of course, who say that they want to do everything by themselves. I tell you, and I tell them, it is a futile exercise. Don't try to do everything by yourself. Please have allies. Develop those people. Your ally could be somebody in your office, someone, that one person who knows you, who realizes you, who understands you very, very clearly. It could be somebody, it could be a neighbor, it could be a friend, it could be your own extended family. Who are those allies who you can count upon, who will help you when you have a challenge either in your work part or in your life part? Right? That is the second step towards achieving that utopian work-life integration. And the third point is this. We all have to learn to set boundaries. Sometimes, when you're so delighted and filled with the work that you do, you can totally get carried away. That means that you will not know. There's this famous concept of flow, which has been described by this leading, brilliant genius called Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and he speaks about the concept of flow. And he says when you're in flow, that means that you can really not stop the way your brain functions and the way you work. A lot of us desire flow. Only a few of us are able to actually get it. But those of us who do, we might just tend to get completely carried away by that. How do you actually draw those borders? How do you draw those lines which state that this far and no further? This requires a lot of introspection. This actually teaches us and tells us that we need to be aware of what we want to do and also stop at a particular line saying this far and no further. Yesterday I was in Bangalore addressing a group at Microsoft, speaking about diversity and inclusion. Today I'm here with you all at Project Management Institute's annual conference, with your permission, on work-life integration, not on work-life balance. And this afternoon I'm in Pondicherry, delivering the valedictory address at Pondicherry University. I am nobody to speak on work-life integration. As you can see, it's been 2 or 3 days since I had a proper conversation at home. I've been running, I've been doing things. And when people ask me, how are you managing all of these things? I just give one answer. I say, compartmentalize your life. I say that there are times when it would seem as if your home part, your personal part is taking a lot of time. I can predict this for myself. Next week, from the 1st of October to the 11th of October, I'm not available for any speaking sessions, no client, nothing is important for me because it's Navratri. And at home we keep Golu. And that means that I will be there all those 11 days and that's most important for me. It's as important for me as it is for my mother-in-law who I live with, and for whom it is important that we call all the different communities there for Golu at home. So no matter whatever is the occasion, I will not be able to travel during that time. So you could ask me, then what happens to the work part? Which is why I said it's better to compartmentalize your life. Never mind if sometimes your home part seems to be much more demanding than your work part. Never mind if sometimes your work part seems to be more demanding. Always have that end destination in mind, because that is what is going to really give you the complete happiness that true work-life integration gives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for the inspirational speech. As a token of appreciation, we would like to present a memento and a spot even photograph in memory of the conference to Dr. Saundarya. May I request Mr. Sriram Raghavan, Secretary and Vice President Certification, to do the honor.